Are you looking for a way to make your calls faster and more efficiently when prospecting using Zoho as your CRM? Well, look no further. The #1 power dialer in Zoho is PhoneBurner, and PhoneBurner makes it super simple for you to select a list of contacts or leads, or really any record from any module, and launch a PhoneBurner dial session. Once you've installed the PhoneBurner app, we will automatically add a PhoneBurner button to the majority of your standard modules in Zoho. Launching your dial sessions using PhoneBurner from Zoho will allow you to make your calls at a rate of up to 60 to 80 dials an hour. And when you're using PhoneBurner, if you get a voicemail, you don't have to listen to the entire greeting. You don't have to wait for the beep. You just click that voicemail button and you're off to the next call. Let me show you how quick and easy that is one more time. I know it's a voicemail, I click the button. Now let's say you don't want to leave a voicemail. You can of course click the no answer button. All of these buttons are completely customizable. You can create as many buttons as you want or need. Now if somebody answers the phone live, there's no pause, no delay, no awkward silence. You just start talking to them. And at some point you're going to click live answer and end the call. Once you end that call, you can take as much time as you want or need to update that record right here in the dial session window. Out of the box, all of the fields that you have in Zoho are going to come over to PhoneBurner as custom fields. And so you'll be able to edit those fields in the dial session, and any edits that you make once you disposition it will go back to Zoho. So here I'm going to go ahead and make a few changes. I'm going to add a quick note. Let's say, for example, I just talked to Nick and he wants me to follow up with him in 3 days. I'm going to take appropriate notes, and then I'm going to take advantage of this follow-up button that I've created in PhoneBurner that allows me to set a follow-up date. I'm going to set that follow-up date 3 days into the future, and then I can click that follow-up button. At this point, because this contact record has multiple phone numbers, the system is going to ask me if I want to call the next contact or the next number on this contact record. This is customizable per disposition or button. But if I've decided that I'm ready to move on, I click that next contact button and I'm off to the next call. Now you'll also notice that as you're making calls using PhoneBurner, you can also trigger emails. Every one of these dispositions down here can be configured to trigger an email, and that email, of course, can be specific to the disposition. So the email that you send after leaving a voicemail might say something like, "Hey Lex, I just tried calling you, but I got your voicemail. Love to chat with you. Give me a call back." And my email that goes out when I click the no answer button could be something like, "Hey Lex, I just tried calling you, but you didn't answer the phone. Next time, pick up the phone. Let's talk. Give me a call back." So every disposition can have its own email assigned to it. And then of course that email, you'll want to make sure that it's customized to match the type of disposition or button it'd be used with. Now another optional item that you can add on to PhoneBurner is the ability to trigger text messages based off of the disposition. Now we also have the ability to allow you to create a phone script so that you can stay on point when you're calling through your contacts. Now finally, I do want to talk to you about caller ID. You have the ability to bring your own caller ID. So if you have a phone number that you would like to use as your caller ID while making phone calls using PhoneBurner, no problem. Simple verification process, and then you'll be able to use your caller ID when making calls using PhoneBurner. Now the only problem with that is we have no ability to help you maintain the reputation of that phone number. And so we give you the ability to buy phone numbers through PhoneBurner. You can buy one number or you could buy hundreds of numbers. And then you can segment these numbers up into what we call number pools so that you can use those numbers as caller IDs for different calling campaigns. And you have the ability to allow us to protect those numbers for you through Armor. We'll make sure that those numbers are registered to you and your business. We'll be monitoring those numbers so that if any of those phone numbers ever get flagged for spam or scam likely by any of the major carriers, we'll be notified of that and we'll go to battle for you to help remove any false flags. All right, so we're done with Lex. Let's go ahead and disposition this call as interested, and we're ready to move on to our next call. As you can see here, PhoneBurner is going to help you power through your calls at a super efficient rate. And every one of these calls is going to get logged back in Zoho. So let's take a look at Lex now that we've dispositioned him in Zoho. I've created a custom field in Zoho that actually makes it super easy for me to go from the dial session to the contact details in Zoho, where I'd be able to see any of the changes that I made to that contact record while making the call. All changes are posted to Zoho on disposition, and we'll also be able to see any of the important PhoneBurner information from the call. For example, if we had set a follow-up date with Lex, which we didn't on this call, we would see that follow-up date listed here. So this is a past follow-up date. I can see the last call, date and time. I can see the last call outcome. As you know, we just clicked the interested button, and here we can see he's marked as interested. Any notes we make during the dial session will get logged as a note to the contact record in Zoho. Now, if we scroll down even further, I'm going to go to my closed activity section where I'll be able to see that this call has officially been logged in Zoho. Now, this allows me to trigger any additional workflows that I may want to run based off of the call outcome. So you see it's a completed outbound call. The result of the call is in the subject line, as well as the call result field. If you have call recording enabled in your PhoneBurner account, we're going to post a link to that recording in the description, as well as to the voice recording feature in Zoho. And there we go. That's how you can start powering through your calls at a rate of up to 60 to 80 dials an hour by installing the PhoneBurner app from the Zoho Marketplace. This will allow you to start initiating PhoneBurner dial sessions from any list that you've created. Hopefully you've created a bunch of lists to help you stay on top of the most important contacts in your CRM. PhoneBurner is going to step in and help you power through your calls faster and more efficiently than you would be able to do it on your own. So what are you waiting for? Go to PhoneBurner.com right now and set up your PhoneBurner account so you and your team can start getting more done in less time using the power of PhoneBurner. Thanks again, and happy dialing.